Some days, it's hard to stay productive. So we're mixing it up this morning with having some ube mochi pancakes. This was a gift from Brenda's friend, and it's also my first time trying this flavor. To be honest, I normally skip breakfast, mostly because it saves me quite a bit of time in the morning, but I figured today could be a little bit special. It took me a few tries, but I finally got a decent sear on the pancake, without burning it, of course. Weekends are the time when people typically relax and enjoy their break from their typical 9 to 5. For me, it's usually the time where I am the most productive. I spend time on my side projects, working on my YouTube channel, and playing with tons of new fascinating technology. Yes, that includes AI. But today, I want to take you through a weekend of trying to be productive as much as possible, whether it is projects that I've been meaning to get to for so long, staying physically active, or planning ahead for what is next. I've been looking to replace these blinds for a while now, and today might be the day. Earlier this week, I was just mindfully trying to pull up my blinds, and the beaded cable dislodged itself. So now I can't even close it or open it. Super frustrating, but that presents us with an opportunity. To be fair, I've been looking to replace these blinds with some curtains for a while now. So it looks like life has given me the proper motivation. But the problem is, I don't really know how to change blinds. So of course, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT how I can change these blinds. I've pretty much taken a few photos here, and yeah, I'll just pop in a question. And once I'm ready, I can press the send button. All right, so I've done my initial assessment of the blinds. There's a bunch of screws all around the top here, so it doesn't look too bad. I just don't know how tight they'll be screwed in. There's only one way to find out. But before I start unscrewing everything, I should probably do some research into what I'm gonna be replacing these with. That means I'm gonna need to take some measurements because I'm thinking of having some railing for the curtains just above there. And yeah, I'm thinking about installing and replacing them with curtains. Okay, so now we have the measurements for the curtains. Before I even take these down, I don't want to rip these blinds down just yet. So I'm gonna go try to find some curtains. It's super rainy out this weekend here in Sydney. It's kind of ruining my running because I can't really run right now. I was thinking maybe I should just get like a poncho or something, but the real problem is my shoe. If I run outside in my current shoes, my feet will just get soaked. And I find that they don't normally make running shoes that are suitable for the rain. I kind of understand because it's mostly to make it lightweight, but sometimes I just want something that's all terrain. So maybe I'll look into finding something. On the topic of curtains, I'm not too confident that IKEA will have the suitable curtains that I'm looking for. I ran the calculations and the numbers, and I think the curtains here at IKEA are just a little bit too short lengthwise from the ceiling to the floor, maybe by about 20 or so centimeters. So I might have to get something a little bit more custom and revisit this, but I think I still can get the rail. I probably am not going to just rip down the current blinds I have until I get the new curtain. The toughest part of going to IKEA is finding parking. It's crazy that it's literally pouring outside and there's this many people that are desperate to go to IKEA, just like me. So let's hope that I can find a spot. Whew, we made it. Lucky enough, the rain has somewhat subsided, but it's still super cloudy outside and a little bit windy as well, because one of the major problems that usually happens is that I spend way too long in here. And I know, it's because of the design of the place. IKEA is that place where you walk inside and you never know what you're gonna get. I tried my utmost best today to speed run my session here, but of course, I couldn't help but stop and look around. It's crazy to see how many things that I see here in IKEA that I've seen in other content creators' studios. We all have similar tastes, but we're here on a mission. I eventually found the curtains section and found the exact railings I needed to hang up. I grabbed 2 of them alongside the packets of sliders, and I decided to look around as well. Somehow my perusing led me to see some cups, mostly because Sprout, my cat, broke some. Don't worry, I resisted somehow. Eventually, I found the exit and tried to find my way back to my car. Okay, we are back. I may have taken a little bit longer than I expected. They really know how to captivate your attention in there. Plus, new financial year means there's new stuff. I might also make a quick stop at Decathlon as well because I was thinking of grabbing some more running shirts because it's getting a little bit colder nowadays and my shoulders just get cold. So luckily, it's just right there. We're gonna try to do that real quickly. Okay, I didn't get any shirts. It's actually getting crazy windy, so I really want to get home. I ended up getting a headlight just because I've been running very early in the mornings and I really don't want to use my light on my phone when I run. It's a little annoying just because I have to hold my phone, so it gives me a little bit of wrist pain here and there. Hopefully, this is a good investment. Second thing, a hat. I honestly don't typically look good in hats, so I typically go for visors. I got a visor once at Decathlon before, but it didn't actually have this adjustable strap. So my old visor always became loose when I run and would just honestly just fall off my head. So it was virtually useless after a while. But this one will make a suitable replacement. All right, cool. So enough sidetracking. I think it's time to head home for today. And hopefully we can try to find and order some curtains at home. Join us for the vlog, huh? Okay, goodbye. So it doesn't look like we'll be able to tear down the blinds today, which is okay. A lot of the thinking has already been done. I'm glad that I at least got the railing for them. I'm likely going to have to order something a bit more custom just because the curtains that are at IKEA, they don't reach the floor. Unfortunate. So in the past vlogs, I've been talking a lot about building a side project, one that helps content creators and it's faster. Today, I want to give you a little glimpse into what I've been working on and as well as how I'm staying productive while managing so many things. I'm making weekly YouTube videos, I have a 9-to-5 job, and I'm training for a marathon. When do I even have time to sleep? Short answer to that is I don't. And that's why I feel very passionate about building this side project. It's rooted into a deep problem that I really want to solve. I love making videos, I love technology, I love building products. But if I could save some time in the in-between for those tasks that are a little bit mundane and monotonous, that time saved will be well worth the price. Build the quickest MVP and ship it within, let's say, over a week, just to test whether people want it or not. This could be a product or a new service. I've been working on building an editor using technology that I've never used before. The thing is, I've talked about my journey using different AI tools before, but in the last few weeks, I've been extremely ramping up my usage. But not just using AI, but leveraging agents. Essentially testing the bounds of not always having to round the keyboard. But that doesn't mean that I think agentic AI can do everything. It still makes a lot of mistakes, especially when building features. So oftentimes I have to truly understand what exactly it's coding and then help guide it given my own personal best practices. It's not easy, but it's super interesting. So two things related to this project. One is the waitlist. It's gonna take some time to build this project. Think of Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. Those pieces of technology takes a long time. I wanna make sure it gets in the hands of what they call power users. Whoa, the rain is crazy right now. There's a popular story in the startup community around this company called Superhuman. They essentially were missing what they called product market fit. That feeling of users not being able to live without their product. And as a result, they tried to find their power users. They essentially segmented their users and catered more towards those that found a lot of value out of their product. I kind of want to make sure that I'm hitting the right audience. The people that would definitely save a lot of time not having to waste hours on end editing their videos and jump in on the parts along that process of editing is a little bit more creative, you know, their unique personal touch. So I leveraged Vercel's V0 to create a first initial version of a waitlist website. Yes, I could have done this myself, but it saved me quite a lot of time because it has a lot of experience building these types of websites. I wanted it sleek, I wanted it clean, and dark mode, of course, is a must. That being said, let's take a pause because I think it's dinner time. We have something super special today, lemongrass ribs. I wanted to try to slow cook the ribs today, but I didn't have enough time, so I had to use the pressure cooker for the first time. I would say that it turned out not too bad. 7.5 out of 10. All right, dinner was lovely, but let's jump right back into it. A little late in the night to be having matcha. So you've seen the waitlist, AI generated and then modified using my own software engineering skills. Now, what about the product itself? Well, I told you before, I've been really leaning into using agents, specifically Claude code agents. To be honest, for people that aren't software engineers, this sounds like complete nonsense, but it's actually the biggest time saver. I am on the Claude Code Pro plan. It gives you a very powerful agentic AI tool. Essentially, imagine if I had clones of myself and I was an expert in a lot of different programming languages. So let's say I want to build a feature. I can get it to write the product requirements into a file, create agents to go off and code those features. They can take on different personas. So maybe one is super specialized in front-end development. Maybe one is great at backend, but I find that it's able to get up to that 70 to 80%. And for that last 30 to 20%, I can step in and connect the final dots. At the end of the day, does this make me more productive? I would say yes and no, because it depends on the type of goal that you're going for. I'm building this initial MVP, minimal viable product, using languages that I have never used before. That can be scary, quite daunting, and take a long time to learn if I didn't have this AI assistance. So in terms of reaching my goal of building a product that people would use, 100% this has increased my productivity. Has this improved my entire ability to learn? I would argue that it's a 50-50. On one side, I'm now seeing examples of code and how it all links together. But on the other side, I feel that there's a deeper understanding when you're able to write it yourself. It's like when I was trying to learn French in high school and I was just skimming across the French. I see a few words that I recognize, but there are those nuances in between each word that if I were trying to write it myself, I probably would flub it entirely. This is also a Pokemon card sticker that one of my friends got me. You can actually stick it on top of one of your, say like credit cards, for example, or debit cards. Very cool. So in terms of product, I have been trying to build out each individual feature. What is the simplest version of this application that I can get into the hands of people, and then collect some feedback and iterate along the way. In my mind right now, I want to create some sort of video editor. I want it to be able to sort those clips onto a timeline and ensuring all the basic fundamentals of a video editor are there. I'm not going to reveal everything feature-wise just yet. I like to keep a good surprise. We'll see how long it'll take given my brain, these AI agents, and a whole lot of matcha. So I'm going to keep smashing out a few more features. And by me, I mean Claude. Guided by me, of course. I think today we did quite a lot, even though we had a little bit of a late start to the day. But let's see what productive stuff we get up to tomorrow. It's the next day and surprise, surprise, it's still pouring outside. We're going to try to get a workout in, a little bit of a run. And guess what? Next week is City to Surf. And I need as much training as I can get. I typically don't run on treadmills just because I think it's a little bit different than running outside. But this will have to do. And after a little rest, I like to follow up my runs with a little bit of strength training. Gotta get stronger somehow, you know? So it's pouring outside. I don't have a microphone, so sorry for the poor audio. Instead of typically running outside, I'm pretty much running on the treadmill today. I guess this sort of counts as the shape because technically on Strava, I'd just be running in the same place. So I ran a dot today, though I can't record it on Strava because Strava doesn't have a treadmill recording option. But yeah, happy to get this workout done today. Already done a bunch of chores this morning, laundry, groceries, and now I'm gonna go home, eat some lunch, and maybe I'll show you a forgotten project of mine. I am drenched. So we are back in the office. Of course, we have a protein, and I'll tell you about this forgotten side project. Last year and previous years, I went on a few overseas trips. And the thing about myself and Brenda, especially when we start planning for trips, we plan to the minute, granular detail. We have a whole spreadsheet of different options of places we want to eat, things we want to do. I still think the concept of this application would be super useful. Again, if no one else used it, I probably still would. The main idea was I would allow somebody to go into the site, create an itinerary, and help them plan their next vacation. Frankly, I didn't have the time, and I was still uncertain of whether the ROI was worth the amount of effort that I was putting in. Of course, I still see the value in it. I do want to see it done, so I want to see if AI can build out the solution than I could have ever done. You see, one of the problems I always had was that I would have a database and it would have no context of any changes that I made there, especially when I was updating tables. So what did I do? I added something called MCP, Model Context Provider. I did a little bit of the UI last year. I tried to keep it a little frivolous, super light, but I didn't have any preview photos because obviously it wasn't done yet. This is something that I'll just be building in the background, probably be posting a little bit on X and Threads just for dev updates. But hands down, AI is helping so much with productivity here. I've always struggled with learning how to get things shipped out the door. It's much harder than I think people realize. And to the people that do it, so much kudos to them. On days like this where it's super gloomy outside, I mean, it's been raining for days now and it can be very difficult to stay motivated. There's days where you can't really go outside, but creating frameworks, staying ahead, and using the tools at my disposal have been super helpful keeping me on track. I honestly love this thing. I think the truth is that you're not gonna be productive every single day. There's gonna be days where you need to rest, recover, and take a little break. Things such as going out, trying to eat healthy, making sure you get your exercise in, very important. I'm a firm believer that the things that you're truly passionate about should give you energy. So yeah, even on these rainy, stormy days, you gotta find ways to give yourself some energy. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.